Welcome. My name is Dr. Twyla Sprouse. I am principal at Kennedy Primary School, and I have asked Mrs. Jennifer Casey, our school psychologist, to join me today. Also, Mr. Greg Brown, he's our school superintendent for Abilene Public Schools, and Mrs. Mary Dewey is a parent educator for parents as teachers. So we have some interesting information to discuss, and information that I think parents will need as they get ready for their kiddos to come to kindergarten and first grade at Kennedy, and just some early childhood information we'd like to share all together. Mr. Brown, would you like to start? And one thing that we've done this year is had an Abilene Early Childhood Coalition meeting, and that started with Mr. Brown initiating the meetings, and I'd like him to just share a little bit about how that came to be.
You bet. Thank you. Yeah, we set up just a very unstructured time, quite frankly, where we can sit around the table and have a discussion about how a good number of people in the Abilene community are meeting the needs of our youngest learners. We have daycare providers around the table, Head Start, special education, parents as teachers. There's probably anywhere from 12 to 15 people that meet approximately once a month. And it's, like I said, a very unstructured agenda. But it's an opportunity for each of us to just simply share what's going on in our worlds. And I practiced this where I was at previously as a superintendent, and it's just been a real blessing to see how folks of a like mind come together and end up working together. Sure enough, as soon as somebody suggests or shares what they're doing, other people around the table say, you know what, can we come along beside you and do some things with you during that opportunity? And that's exactly what we're beginning to see here. Dr. Sprouse has done a great job of setting up some things that I'm sure she'll share with you here in a little bit as well. But part of the teamwork that has come out of your February meeting that you're going to have this month, I think came out of a lot of those discussions.
It did.
So
It did.
it's really cool to be a part of that. We are working with several stakeholders as time has progressed in my 6 months here to just look to see how we can best meet the needs of our families with daycare and preschool. We're pretty comfortable talking about preschool. Not as comfortable changing diapers. I wasn't terribly good at it when my kids were little, and I can tell you I'm no better at it now, but I suppose either way I won't have to. I imagine I can delegate that kind of thing. But yeah, I think, again, there's been some great discussions coming along out of our time here. We have a board member that's involved in that coalition, and so consequently, some of our discussions around the table here in that coalition will become kind of a board thought as well as time goes on.
Right, and I think it's been great just to have that collaboration, and we hear about one another in our programs, but we actually now know what the specifics are to each program and how we can work together. So I believe that's been really beneficial.
You bet.
So I appreciate you initiating those meetings
Well,
and having that conversation and getting this all around the table.
it's good stuff.
Yeah. So another item we'd like to discuss is our Parents as Teachers now has moved into Kennedy, and they are holding their preschool sessions and their playgroup sessions at Kennedy. And I'd like Mary Dewey to share a little bit about that and the benefits of being in the school now instead of a separate
It's been
location.
wonderful being in this school. So Parents as Teachers, for those of you that maybe are not familiar with it, it's for all families in the Abilene area. It's through birth through kindergarten entry. It's a free service that we offer. We currently have 4 parent educators that come out and work with different families. They're highly trained and wonderful ladies as well. So as we know, parents are really the kid's first teacher whenever they are born and stuff, and the parents shape their child's future through their experiences and all the activities that they do. So our mission with Parents as Teachers is to provide information and encourage parents to help them with their children, giving through activities, through different games they can play, because today is actually National Play Day and stuff, so we're encouraging a lot of our families to get out and do something fun with your kids as well. And Parents as Teachers offers a variety of services that are all free. One of our main ones is in-home visits. We'll come to your home once or twice a month. We'll bring with us activities and resources to help the family out a little bit. that are appropriate for your child too. We can also do yearly screenings, which can kind of help see where your child's at. Are they meeting their milestones? Is there anything that we need to do to kind of help them meet those milestones a little bit better as well? We can also help provide resources. A couple other things that are free to the public as well is we have play groups, which Twyla was kind of talking a little bit about that, and they're at Kennedy Elementary School now, which has been very, very beneficial to our families. Before we used to hold them at different locations, but now that we're in the elementary school a little more, our families are able to meet the staff, see Kennedy Elementary School, so therefore our hopes are next year when some of those kids do go into Kennedy, it'll be a safe environment and it won't be anything new, so kind of take a lot of the stress and kind of the anxiety off of the kids and the parents as well. We also, lose my mic here. We also offer kindergarten ready sessions about every 3 weeks, and we're very fortunate enough to be able to get to do those through a grant, the Kansas Health Foundation, and that just kind of helping kids with their social emotional skills, teach them listening skills, teach them how to follow directions, and really working together. The parents also come to these sessions so they can kind of learn things that they can do to help better prepare their kids for preschool and kindergarten entry, just kind of help the family as a whole too. It's been really fun, but we've really enjoyed being at Kennedy at your school with the staff too.
And on those preschool nights, you do serve a meal as well.
We do an activity, kind of a little preschool class where the kids are doing activities and games, and they're really playing through learning. And then the parents are kind of in the back observing, and they're also getting resources and information that they can take home and continue working with their child to kind of help better prepare them for their next milestone. And then we have a big meal for all the families at the end too.
If someone wanted to contact you, Mary, or any of the other parents,
Yes.
teachers, educators, how would they go about doing that?
So we actually have a couple different ways you can contact us. You can go onto the district website, and you can click on the Parents as Teachers link, and you can follow that through and fill out a form, and someone will be happy to call you, or you can easily call our offices too, which is 263-4006, and we would love any new families to join us too. We have a lot of fun.
Great, thank you for
Thank you so
sharing.
much.
All right, Mrs. Casey.
Yes.
Mrs. Casey is new to our district this year. She works through the cooperative, the Central Kansas Cooperative in Education, as the school psychologist, but she is in our buildings doing early childhood through third grade.
Yes.
Specifically, the elementary school she works at, Kennedy and McKinley, and she's been just a blessing to have to
Oh,
help
thank
support our
you.
staff and students. So I thought, it'd be good for you to share your role
Yes.
and how you can help with early childhood as well.
So one of my roles as an early childhood school psychologist is just providing interventions. Early intervention is key for our young children, and so helping parents to understand developmental milestones, and then if there's concerns that their child is not meeting those developmental milestones, helping them to find supports to help their child develop. And with those supports, they will be more successful and have better outcomes as they grow into our larger population and children. So I also work with mental health teams in the area if children need mental health supports, and then just overall supports for the family. And that's one of the things we'll talk about is an opportunity for families to learn about those supports in the community that's coming up. The other piece that I work with in early childhood is developmental screenings. Salina has developmental screenings once a month. The ones that are coming up in the future is this Friday on February 7th, and then there's another one on March 20th. But if families would like more information, they can always call the Central Kansas Cooperative in Education at 309-5100 to get more information on screenings that may be closer to the Abilene community. And then I also provide services for children in different settings. So as you said, I have the early childhood settings, and then I have Kennedy and McKinley elementary schools. And I work to identify students that may need special education supports, but also supports within the general education setting. So providing behavioral supports, academic supports, mental health supports as needed, and helping our students and staff to understand the needs of other students that we work with. So. Yeah.
You've been a great addition to the team, and we appreciate
Well,
all that you're
thank
doing for
you.
our staff
Yes.
and students. And I wanted to share some information regarding kindergarten readiness. Our kindergarten pre-enrollment will be in April, and the date is April the 16th. It is from 4 to 8 p.m. It's going to be at Kennedy Primary School. And just to mention that parents will need to bring current immunization records, a current health physical, and a copy of the child's birth certificate. if you don't have your immunizations yet or the physical done, just plan on getting that done before August enrollment, and then we can get that collected, get the copies, and the nurse will document those things. Setting up an appointment now is always good as doctors' offices get busy, getting kids ready for kindergarten. We also have coming up an early childhood night that Mrs. Casey and we're alluding to, a night for families to come in to Kennedy Primary School. It's February the 11th. They will be able to hear from different providers in the area. We have infant toddler services will be attending, Emmanuel Church Preschool will be there, Head Start, ACLC, the Abilene Public Schools nurse, counselor, and social workers will be in attendance. Parents as teachers will be there, and then the Central Kansas Cooperative in Education, and additional people will be joining us. And we'll have tables set up where they can just come in and out. It's a come and go time from 5:30 to 7:30 to pick up information, meet with these people, and if they have questions, all the resources in the community will be there in one place, and we'll be happy to talk to anyone. It is free. And we're asking families with children birth through age 5 that are ready for kindergarten to attend. If your entire family can attend, though, not just that child, but the whole family's invited, and we will be serving a meal from 5:30 to 6:30. It is catered by the school district. It will be chili, cinnamon rolls, water, and tea. So everyone's welcome to attend, and we'd love to hear from you if you have questions or need more information about the family night. You can call Kennedy Primary School at 263-1088, and we'd be happy to answer your questions there. I did talk to our kindergarten teachers and asked them to list their top 5 areas that they feel are most important when kids enter Kennedy and coming in for kindergarten. The main thing, the most important thing that a parent can do with a child is to pick them up, put them in their lap, and read with them. That's the most important thing. But other items that the teachers feel are important are just a child's ability to take care of their personal needs, zipping their coat, using the restroom, doing some of those things independently, listening to and following along as a story is read, and being able to discuss a little bit about the story, being respectful and able to follow one-step or two-step directions, having experiences with pencils, crayons, and doing puzzles, so those fine motor skills are important. And then having experience with rhyming words, letter names, and sounds. So they don't have to come to school knowing how to write. They don't have to come to school knowing all of their letters and sounds, but just the familiarity with that, the experience, the hearing it, and that's where parents as teachers helps a lot. We provide some of those experiences as well as our other daycare providers and preschools in the community. So those are some things that are really important. And as parents enroll for kindergarten, they will be asked in August to fill out an ASQ screener for their child. They have seen these. If you take your child to the doctor on a regular basis, they check the developmental milestones at the doctor's office and have parents answer these questions. So most parents are familiar with these forms. And the reason we ask parents to do it is parents are the professionals, and they are the ones that know their child the best. So if I just meet a child and I try to do the screening, it will not be as valid as if someone that has a good rapport with them, they've known that person. So the parents are the experts on their child, and that's why we ask them to fill that out. The ASQ3 screener is a developmental screener. So it screens for communication, gross motor skills, fine motor skills, problem solving, and then personal social information. And then the ASQ SE2 is a social emotional screener, and it gets more involved with a child's ability to conform or follow directions, if they can share their emotions, things like that. So it's great information that the parent can share with us as we prepare for them to come into the classroom. And I brought this to show, when the parents return this, the kids do get a class t-shirt for that year. So this was this year's. It's a class of 2032. And it's always fun for the kiddos to wear these as they go on field trips and different places around the community. And then at the end of the school year, it does go home with them. Is there any other information that you think would be beneficial for our families to hear?
I think that we've covered early childhood pretty well.
I think so too. I think we have a good support network. The groups in our communities that are providing support for our students in the early childhood area are phenomenal. And again, I really am appreciative of Mr. Brown starting that meeting so we can see each other on a regular basis and just support one another as we support the children in our community. Thank you very much for joining us.